broadcast supports the independent and family-owned restaurant as an American treasure. It also supports the best dining experience for every customer, including Gary Monterosso. My name is Ed Hitzel. The show is called Table for One. Our mission is to discuss, dissect, critique, recommend, and celebrate restaurants and the food and beverage industry in southern New Jersey. Gary Monterosso is my guest host this morning. Gary of the Atlantic City Beer Festival, the food show, several books, TV, radio.
You mean I've read several books?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Right.
Gary, you've done wonderful things for my appreciation of beer. I was in, I don't know where I was, and Three Philosophers was on the beer menu, so I ordered it.
Oh, my gang.
Yeah, because I read your column, which is in my newsletter.
You read my column?
Yes, it's hard to believe.
It is.
Gang Brewery in New York
Yeah.
has a beer called Three Philosophers,
Absolutely.
and I ordered it. It was a big bottle.
Comes in a large.
with a champagne cork, and it was wonderful. After
great.
about a half hour, I didn't know that anymore.
There are remarkable, I mean, Mark can address this as well, but there are remarkable flavors out there
Yeah.
right now. I mean, it's, this is a wonderful time to be a person that appreciates good beer.
I'm all with you, Gary. Mark Haynie is a gentleman I've known for many years. I've attended beer events with Mark. Mark is unique in that he holds events at one of the Summers Point firehouses every month or 2 months or whenever he feels like it. He travels around the world finding unusual beer, bringing them back, invites his friends, invites the public, really.
He even invites me.
Sometimes. I've seen you there. And Mark has written a book called New Jersey Breweries by Lou Bryson and Mark Haynie. Hi, Mark.
Hello, Ed.
I say hi because on the radio you say hi as if
Right.
you just walked in or something.
Right.
But you've been here the whole time.
Yes.
Tell us about the book.
Well, it's I'll give you a little bit of background. Lou has done other books, Pennsylvania breweries, New York breweries, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware breweries. And we've been planning on this book for many a year. I know we were all going to do it. We belong to an organization, the New Jersey Association of Beer Writers. And
There's such an organization?
Yes, there is.
guys
Gary
meet for wine and
Gary is
cheese?
also a member.
It's a means for us to get out and drink.
Right, right. That's about what we did, and we had planned on this book for many years, but we didn't. Just never seemed to get around to it.
What I would like to do is get down the chapter names and have you
Okay.
just explain a little bit about what's in each chapter. The first one here is the big red one, the Flying Eagle, and
Right, that's
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch,
What,
right?
what does that mean?
And Lou did that. Well, that's they did a history of Anheuser-Busch and talked about because Newark, New Jersey is one of their biggest breweries.
Is it still there?
Oh yes,
Well,
it's
stay
the biggest.
there?
It's the biggest. Oh yes, it's the biggest brewery in New Jersey. So,
What's the
yes,
se- what's the s-
that's where they make Rolling Rock now. So,
What's the second biggest brewery in New Jersey?
Fish?
Flying
Flying
Fish,
Fish?
I think,
Okay.
right now.
And then you have a word about beer traveling. What is that?
Well, beer traveling is, as I do all the time. You go, you integrate beer with your vacation. Usually, mine it ends up the whole vacation, much to my wife's
Dismay?
dismay.
I
yeah.
think
Why?
she enjoys it. She
Well,
enjoys
yes, she does.
It's like
trying
that
different
guy with
beers.
the train.
But
thing
there are
up
other
in
times.
New
Yeah,
York.
I mean, we do integrate.
The family better like trains or else.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question that I have trouble with when somebody asks me.
Right.
The best beer you've ever tasted anywhere in the world.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. I hate
No,
that.
I really can't. I really,
Give me
I mean,
3.
they're just
Give me
it
10.
is so subjective. That it depends on the time that you're drinking it. I mean, there are times that you really don't. You're not in the mood, say, for a beer.
Gary, you ever not been in the
Yeah.
mood for a beer?
Usually when I'm asleep. Yes.
Well, three experiences that you've had tasting beer around the world that you remember.
Well, I'm going to say, of course, Chimay.
I know Chimay.
Hoegaarden, was one of my first Belgian beers that I had ever had, and that's kind of an epiphany. When you go searching for these beers after having drunk, all the local and the national, lagers for all those years. Believe it or not, and then you find that there is something different out there.
When I meet people who don't live in this area, there's a fact about our water that I tell them that most people don't believe. Atlantic City's water is the purest in the world.
Right. It's
And
won
the
many
reason-
awards.
The reason for that is the aquifers under the Pinelands, the Kirkwood Aquifer, the Cohansey Aquifer, which the Pinelands collects rainwater and
Right.
purifies it. And does that
Sandy
affect the brewing of beer?
Oh, definitely. Water is a very important part of brewing beer. There are so many places like in England, Burton, England. I mean, it has a lot of salt, sodium in the water, so it makes a much softer beer. And a lot of places now add things to the beer, to the water, to make it
To simulate the water
Right,
over
to
there,
simulate the
exactly.
water in other places. So.
I would think that would make Tun Tavern's beer among the purest in the world.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to do anything to his water at all. So.
I'm surprised there aren't more breweries in Atlantic
Well,
County.
I don't know. I wish there were.
What's the future of brewing beer, brew pubs, microbrews?
Well, even right now, even with a fallback of the economy, it seems that people still find time to go to breweries to buy good beer. They may not buy as much as they have in the past, but because the budget doesn't allow it. But they would rather drink one good beer than 6 mediocre beers.
How did the interest in beer come about?
I don't know.
I mean, you could be writing a wine book
was,
now.
I guess I have to contribute it to Michael Jackson's Beer Hunter program. I saw that, and it really piqued my interest in that. And also, years ago, my brother-in-law signed me up for a beer club, and had me, get beers in the mail. So I mean, I got exposed to a lot of different styles that I had never even heard of before. Some I liked, some I didn't, and then you start experimenting. So then it evolves over the years as you go. And then of course I met Gary. And,
Well,
She changed everything.
What came to a head?
I mean, I never knew a beer writer existed. I never heard of such a thing, and he, so that really piqued my interest too. And so we've been friends ever since.
And now you are one.
I was curious to hear that because for every person I think who develops a fondness for craft beer, there's usually one moment that defines it for you. For me, I was in Washington at a place called the Brickskeller, and that was my epiphany, as you mentioned earlier, where I was turned on to so many different flavors. We're going back to the 1980s, I guess, and I was basically used to drinking the mass marketed beers. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I wonder if there was something else out there.
Actually,
triangle.
my epiphany was at your tastings. I'm serious. I got a
Arrogant-
late start.
Arrogant bastard.
Yeah,
Your favorite.
arrogant
Right.
bastard. Yeah.
That's
the name of a
inappropriate
beer.
to call it that now.
Yeah, don't use the 7-second delay. That's the name of a beer. Well, now, knowing all the different flavors and textures and styles
Right.
that are available, I never realized it. I mean, a whole world opened up to me.
Sure.
Mark Haynie, author of New Jersey Breweries, co-author with Lou Bryson. Where do we get the book?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Borders. They should be on the shelves from there.
It says here on your bio that your pet peeve is people who don't think.
That's from working at a casino for 20 years.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Neither Gary nor I will comment. All right, Gary Monterosso, thank you. Thank you very much. Good
And
job
it's always
today.
my pleasure. Thank you.
It is always your
Thank
pleasure. Mark Haynie,
no.
wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yeah, talking to the microphone.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful job, Mark. Shake my hand.
Thank you.
Always like to shake a beer man's hand. Daniel,
Thank you very much.
good job, Daniel. And we'll be back after this message. See you next week.